The one truth awakened people keep off the loudspeaker isn't gatekeeping. It's how the truth survives discovery. You sense it the moment you start to really wake up. Not the morning kind, but the kind where the stage lights flip on and the set reveals itself as painted wood. The elaborate game everyone reveres? You see the strings. The mask slips, the veil thins, and reality looks less like brick and more like a living dance playing hide and seek with itself. And here's the twist almost nobody prepares you for. The simplest truth is too obvious to hand to anyone. It's not dangerous the way a blade is dangerous. It's dangerous the way a spoiler ruins a story. If I say it bluntly, it blocks the only way it works. You finding it, not me giving it. What truth? There's nothing extra to become to be what you already are. The seeker is the finding in disguise. The watcher is the watched. The wave? Not different from the ocean, just temporarily pretending to be separate so it can feel the thrill of coming home. Say that out loud and two things happen. Some reject it because it collides with the cult of self-improvement. Others nod, file it as a clever idea, and add it to a shelf of concepts. Either way, the point is missed. Chase enlightenment like a shadow, and it outruns you. Stand still and it's at your heels. This is why true teachers sound like they're speaking in puzzles. They point toward the moon and warn you not to worship the finger. They hand you a boat and remind you to leave it on the bank once you cross. They build a practice that must one day be dropped. A sage can talk for a lifetime and then say, "I never taught a thing." Another warns that what can be neatly named is not the enduring way. Stories come in metaphors because straight lines break the mystery. They weren't being cryptic for sport, they were being kind. Truth is not a package. It isn't transferable. It's discovered by you and you. And you can't discover it by trying to seize it, because who's trying? The mask. The ego is the dream role insisting it will wake the dreamer. Magnificent but impossible. Then, in a snap, you see it. The universe put on your name like a costume, acted so convincingly it believed its lines, and then one day whispers, "Found you." The treasure wasn't across the map. You were sitting on the chest. Now be careful. Because the instant you see this, you'll want to run into town square and announce it. Stop striving. You're already it. And watch, people will write a new doctrine about your exhale. They'll erect a shrine around your pointing hand and forget to look past it. This is how movements ossify. The music slips and only sheet music remains. So the truly awake learn a subtler art. They speak in ways that function as mirrors, not maps. They don't dump conclusions. They design conditions and let you ride the bicycle yourself. Balance is learned in motion, not in diagrams. Once it clicks, you can't even fully explain how. It lives in your bones. Meeting people where they are is not avoidance. It's precision. If someone is addicted to seeking, you don't rip it away. You help them search so thoroughly that the seeker burns out of fuel, and in the quiet they notice their home. If someone is worshiping self-improvement, you don't sneer. You let them refine until the refiner questions the premise and the loop loosens. Buddhists call it skillful means. The medicine matches the moment, even while knowing there's nowhere to go but here. Another reason the truth stays hidden in plain sight. It's alive, not a formula. Each person must meet it fresh, or it isn't truth, just rumor. Like love, you can catalog symptoms all day, but until it lands, you don't know. And when it does, it wears your colors. Universal, yes. Identical, never. The living encounter can't be pinned to a board. It must be lived. There's a social reason too. We participate in a shared pretend so the game works. Money, roles, clocks, and endings, we agree we play. The problem is not the rules, it's forgetting we're playing. After waking, you still eat, still pay rent, still share sidewalks with people who take the script literally. So you become fluent in two levels. You play wholeheartedly while remembering it's theater. You give what belongs to the game and what belongs to the infinite, two hands, same heart. And then there's compassion. Not the sugary kind, the real kind that sees itself in every face. Everyone's path is shaped to their timing. Forcing insight is just another control strategy in costume. Suffering and confusion are not bugs. They're chapters in the book consciousness writes about itself. Water doesn't argue with stone. It flows, reflects, nourishes without credentials. That's awakened action. Firm, fluid, quiet. Also, you're still human. Hunger, moods, tired days, they happen. The difference is you are not welded to them. Weather crosses the sky remains itself. That's why awakened people often look ordinary. Perfection cosplay would only invite pedestals and miss the point. The liberation isn't in levitation. It's in room temperature humanity without chains. Integration takes time. There can be bright flashes followed by old grooves. Then steadier seeing. Then, surprise, another layer. Dream inside a dream peeled back by touch. This isn't discouraging, it's delicious. The adventure keeps unfolding. Beware spiritual bypass, using awakening to skip being human. Nothing matters, can become a shield against intimacy and responsibility. True seeing includes everything. Emotions grow vivid because you stop bracing against them. Relationships clarify because the costume drops. Engagement deepens because there's nothing left to defend. So, keep it hidden does not mean lie. It means embody more than you advertise. Let presence do the heavy lifting. You can counterfeit insights, even compassion, but you can't fake presence. People recognize the texture. They exhale around it. In that safety, they question their assumptions. That's transmission. Being wakes being, the way one tuning fork hums another into resonance. Sometimes a story, a memory, a line on a page does it years later. Readiness decides. Seeds germinate when the season changes, not on our schedule. You might ask, aren't you breaking your own rule by talking now? Fair question. I'm not giving conclusions. I'm granting permission to doubt, to look, to test experience. I speak in circles on purpose, then pull the rug so the mind tires of tightening its fist. Zen hands you a riddle you can't solve, not to taunt you but to exhaust the engine. When the engine stalls, a gap appears. In that quiet, the view is obvious. There's a story about a master pouring tea into a full cup until it spills. Yes, empty the cup. But don't worship emptiness. An empty cup is as useless as an overfilled one. What you want is freedom, to be empty when silence fits, full when words serve. Hold ideas like tools, not like identity. Awake doesn't mean free from life. It means free within life. Thoughts come and go. You don't enlist in each one's army. Feelings move. You don't drown. You still wear masks when the play calls for them, knowing no mask is the face. Here's the cosmic joke. Once you see there is nowhere to arrive, you can finally travel. Once you feel complete, you're free to create. When nothing needs to matter, everything becomes precious. Liberated from winning, you can actually play. But if you grab these as slogans, the mind files them under new beliefs. The truth is not anti-mind, it's larger. So what am I really asking? Look where experience happens, not where ideas point. Inspect the looker. Who is doing the seeing? Press gently and you may notice. There's seeing but no separate seer. There's experience without a fenced-in experiencer. In that recognition, nothing changes and everything relaxes. Why keep it hidden? Because the search itself, when it's desperate, obscures what's here. The chase becomes the fog. The hunger to awaken becomes the dream to wake from. Stop looking elsewhere, not as a tantrum but as sanity. You're already standing in the center. You are the thing you're chasing. You can only retire the pretend costume. And then you live like this, No longer pretending to be apart, limited, certain, or clueless. Ordinary day, extraordinary ease. The deepest mystery sits in plain clothes. Not far, not secret, not captured by motion, present as this breath, this room, this listening. The awakened walk among us, secret in daylight, waiting for recognition to bloom on faces that suddenly soften. Wake up, but don't wrestle yourself awake. You were never fully asleep. You were convincing. That's all. This is landing. Breathe with me for a moment. 4 in. 2 pause. 6 out. Set the invisible backpack down. Ask, what here is truly mine to carry? Name it. What here was borrowed? Let it go. And if you want to leave a trace for others without turning it into theater, try this. Plant seeds. Short sentences of honesty placed early, a kindness no one can invoice, a boundary that keeps dignity intact. Don't count the sprouts. Trust seasons. Before we close, a gentle invitation. If this helped, like the video and share it. You're fueling mind alchemy, you're helping quiet wisdom cut through the noise. Not for numbers, so the algorithm of attention learns to value silence that speaks. The secret in 5 words? You already are the thing. Stop chasing what you are. Presence teaches what language can't. Now, shall we have some tea? Let's make this practical for ordinary days, because awakening that cannot carry groceries is only half awake. Imagine you are in traffic and the horn behind you is an opera of impatience. Notice the first surge that rises to your throat. Let it crest and fall without building a story. Then check what is actually here. The wheel in your hands, the rhythm of your breathing, the fact that you are safe in this exact second. Awareness returns you to the only power you ever had. The power to respond rather than react, to choose the next clean step instead of repeating yesterday's panic. In conversations, practice a tiny pause between their words and your reply. You will find a sliver of space wide enough to fit wisdom. In that space, pick from 3 moves. Clarify what you heard, name what you can offer, or name what you cannot. I want to understand you. Here's what I heard. I can help with this part. I can't carry that today. None of these are weapons. Each is a dignified doorway back to reality. When guilt arrives dressed as obligation, ask who appointed it king. If the answer is a childhood echo, bow to the echo and let it fade. Responsibility that emerges from clarity feels quiet and clean. It does not need applause and it does not need an alibi. The more you track this difference, the less you outsource your choices to moods or to the crowd. Notice also how the body tells the truth before the mind writes a headline. Tight jaw means defended story loading. Soft belly means the story is letting go. Learn your signals. They are instruments, not enemies. Adjust posture as if you trusted life for one breath. Adjust voice as if truth did not require volume to be true. The nervous system listens to posture and voice before it accepts any idea. There will be days when you forget everything here and spiral through every old hallway. That does not mean you failed. It means you are human. The practice is not heroic, it is repetitive kindness. Return, not perform. Return, not achieve. Return because returning is the pathless path we keep pretending is a staircase. If you teach, teach lightly. Teach with stories that end in open doors. Teach with questions that refuse to trap the student in your certainty. Ask them where in their own life the insight already lives in miniature. Ask them what they know without words when a storm passes and the air tastes newly washed. The point is not to make followers. The point is to make room for recognition. If you love someone who is still devoted to the chase, love them without trying to edit their pace. Sit beside them on the curb when they are tired. Celebrate when they learn something beautiful that you learned last year without saying, finally. Let the timeline be as wide as the sky. Love is not a curriculum. Love is climate. It keeps the field fertile so truth can germinate when it is ready. When fear whispers that awakening will steal your ambition, test it. Do one thing today with full attention and no self-attack. Write the email with a clear subject line. Wash the dish until it shines. Finish the run and feel your feet say thank you. See if the result is smaller or larger than the product of anxious striving. Again and again you will find that presence refines excellence because noise no longer drives the hand. There is a grace in remembering that everyone is carrying a private library of almost breakdowns and almost breakthroughs. You do not need to know their titles to treat them with reverence. Move softer in crowded rooms. Offer the seat. Let the impatient pass. Whisper the compliment you once swallowed because you feared it would sound strange. This is not sainthood. This is sanity wearing comfortable shoes. You can still plan. You can still save, still start companies, still set alarms. But notice you can do all of that without pretending these structures are your spine. You have a spine. It is made of attention and breath and a willingness to tell the truth as kindly as possible. Everything else is decoration. Some decorations are beautiful. Some are loud. None are you. A final reminder for the clever mind that will try to turn this into a checklist. There is no gold star at the end of today for performing enlightenment. There is only the plain satisfaction of having acted from the most honest place you could find in the moment you were given. Tomorrow will ask again. You will answer again. That is enough. If loneliness visits because you are no longer fluent in the language of drama, greet it like a friend who forgot your address. Make tea. Sit by the window. Watch how the light moves across the floorboards. See how even loneliness changes if you stop demanding it speak quickly. Bring your attention like a lamp to whatever room you are in. Rooms respond to light. And when joy visits, which it will, don't interrogate it. Let it laugh through your chest like an old song you knew as a child. Let it leave its fingerprints on the afternoon. Joy is not a test of worthiness. Joy is weather. The sky does not apologize for sun after rain. Neither should you. If the world asks who you are now, answer in verbs. I listen. I notice. I return. If they want nouns, you can give them a few but keep them on a small shelf. Labels are useful the way umbrellas are useful. Hold them when needed. Close them when the storm passes. No need to live under nylon on a blue day. There is no secret handshake here, only open palms. There is no finish line, only footsteps that sound like yes to the ground they touch. If you need to remember this later, write it on a scrap of paper and hide it in your wallet. You are already home. Spend the rest of your days exploring the rooms. Let this be simple. Return, breathe, notice, and keep choosing honest kindness today.